Find the intercepts of y equals negative x squared plus 4 and graph the equation by plotting points. We're going to graph it on this Cartesian coordinate system where the x-axis is the horizontal number line and the y-axis is the vertical number line. Now first let's find the intercepts. Now if you want to figure out the x-intercept, that's going to be where the graph crosses the x-axis. On the x-axis, the y value is 0 on the x-axis. So we're going to plug in 0 for y to get the x-intercept. So for the x-intercepts, we're going to plug in 0 for y. So using the equation, I'm just going to put in a 0 into that y spot. And then you solve for x, and that will give you the x-intercepts. We're going to subtract 4 on both sides. We'll get negative 4 equals negative x squared. You can divide both sides by negative 1. That'll get rid of that negative on the right hand side. Negative 4 divided by negative 1 is positive 4. And then you can square root both sides. When you square root both sides, you add a plus or minus sign. And then you get plus or minus 2 for x. Square root of x squared is just x. So it's crossing the x-axis at negative 2 and positive 2. So there's 2 x-intercepts. So on the graph, we can make a point at negative 2 on the x-axis and a point at 2 on the x-axis. So it's the graph of this is crossing the x-axis in 2 locations. All right, let's find where it crosses the y-axis. The y-axis is going to be where the x is 0. So if you want the y-intercept, you're going to plug in 0 for x. So plugging in 0 into the equation. Negative 0 squared is 0, so that just goes away. And you're left with 4. So it's going to cross the y-axis at 4. So you go up 4 units. It's going to cross the y-axis right there. We're going to put a dot at 4 on the y-axis. All right, so the way this graph looks, we need more points to figure this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a table and figure out some more points so we get an idea of where this graph is going to be. We found the intercepts. The intercepts we can label right here. We have negative 2, writing that as an ordered pair, would be negative 2 comma 0 in parentheses. And then we also have 2 comma 0. And we also have the y-intercept. That would be 0, 4. So here's the answer to the first question, finding the intercepts. Now let's graph it by plotting points. We already plotted the 3 intercepts. Let's find some more points. Let's figure out where the graph is when x is negative 1 and 1. So if I plug in negative 1 for x, the y value is going to be negative 1 squared plus 4. Negative 1 squared is positive 1, but you still have this negative out here. So that's negative 1 plus 4, which is 3. So it's also going to be at negative 1, 3. So negative 1 on the x is right here, and then you go up 3 units. So that's going to be right there. If I plug in 1 for x, that's going to be negative 1 squared plus 4. 1 squared is positive 1, but you have this negative, so it's negative 1 plus 4, which is going to give you 3. So another point on the graph is going to be at 1, 3. X is 1 right here, and then you go up 3 units. So another point is going to be right here. So we kind of get an idea of what the graph is looking like here. Let's get 2 more points. Let's do -3 and +3. If you plug in -3 for x, you'll have negative of a -3 squared plus 4. -3 squared, that's +9, but you have a negative, so it's -9 plus 4, which is -5. So it's crossing the graph at -3, -5, so you can go over to -3 on the x, and then go down 5 units to -5, so it's going to be about right here. So it kind of looks like the graph is coming up, and then turning, and then coming down. Let's find one more point. Let's use 3 for x. Three squared is 9, but this is negative, so it's -9 plus 4, which is going to give you -5. So it's crossing the graph is crossing at the point 3, -5. So go over 3 on the x and then down 5 units. It's going to be about right there. So that looks like it's enough points to graph this now. So it's going to be kind of like that. So let's draw in a line. We'll do an arrow here. It's going to come up, and then it's going to curve around and come down. There you go.